All right, what's up, YouTube? I want to make this video. I want to talk about the Ben Stoeger versus Travis Haley situation. I didn't watch the whole thing. I know that they had some sort of drama on one of the podcasts out there. I'm not too much into drama, so I didn't watch the whole thing. But I think the gist of it was that Ben didn't necessarily agree with Travis's teaching approach. And I think his approach was probably a little bit more technical than Ben thinks it should be. Maybe there was some terminology that Travis came up with that Ben wouldn't use. And first of all, let me say, this video it's not meant to say anything negative about Ben at all. Ben is an infinitely better shooter than I am. There's nothing I can teach Ben, but I do want to make some comments about it because I have been to the Travis Haley course. So in regards to the overall debate that they had on there, I can say that as somebody who has been to one of Travis Haley's courses, was there with other people who had been to other ones of his courses, and then they had come in and this was maybe their second or third course, and they really liked the course and thought that they learned a lot from it. For me personally, I liked learning the way that Travis and his team taught, and that way was kind of understanding the why behind what we were doing. Even if it was at times maybe a little bit technical, there are people out there like me that really like to be technical, really like to understand why that they're doing something. And I can say for, as I left there and I was able to train and do some other things, I was able to use some of that technical knowledge to somewhat learn and understand how I'm supposed to do things that maybe they didn't even teach in that course. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. But the second thing, the real thing is, recently Travis did a video where he had a 100-round practice session. And he went through various drills in this 100 rounds. And a lot of people messaged Ben about it. I think Ben said he had gotten like over 100 messages regarding this video, wanted him to comment about it. And Ben made the comment that he didn't understand why Travis did something. And what Travis did is he closed his eyes while shooting some of his rounds. And as somebody who went through his course, I think I've got a little bit of idea about why he did that. So since Ben said he didn't know why, maybe somebody could explain to him why. It would be too hard to put that into some YouTube comments, so I thought I would come on here and make a video. And so whenever I'll use an example from Travis's course. So when we were in Travis's course, we were shooting prone, and he would have you do something called the wiggle test. And so once you got lined up on your target and you could see, your red dot where you wanted it, he had you wiggle around and see if you settled back in to the exact position you were and your dot was still on target. And that way you knew that you were kinesthetically aligned up. Now that's the word that he uses, or the phrase that they use. Some people would say natural alignment, or whatever. But in other words, your body mechanics were set up where that was where your body wanted to be able to shoot, and the gun was positioned and being locked down by the other parts of your body to where that's where you would naturally shoot in that position. And as long as you came back on that same spot, you knew that whenever you fired the round, that the gun would recoil, and then you would settle back into that same spot ready to be able to fire the next round, right? So that's pretty helpful whenever you're trying to get multiple rounds off as quick as you can. So Travis, in part of that, he had you line up where you would have your natural sight alignment or kinesthetic alignment, and he would have you then close your eyes and shoot 5 rounds and see where your rounds went. And I think it was for 2 reasons. And actually, in part of it, after he shot those initial 5 rounds, he said, I felt like he had shot to, I believe it's to the right. He said, I felt like I was aimed a little bit right. I was lined up a little bit right. And so he just kind of adjusted his feet and his body a little bit. And what that does is it kind of builds that muscle memory and that understanding of where is my actual alignment at. And so by shooting it with your eyes closed, got somebody going by on a motorcycle. By shooting with your eyes closed, you make sure that you are not helping it at all by seeing your sights. Because I can be lined up right here, put my gun out, and I see that my sights are a little bit off from there, and without even maybe thinking about it, just kind of adjust with some other movements that aren't necessarily staying in with my natural body alignment. Next thing he did is he fired off the 5 rounds, and he wanted to see, if that position held during the rest of it. So similar to how I talked about with the wiggle check, this is a similar concept in that, if you fire off the round and you want to settle back down at the exact same spot without you having to help it or without you having to use your sight, that way you can get rounds off quicker, knowing predictive kind of shooting, as I believe Ben would say, is you can kind of predict that, yes, my body is lined up, my mechanics are such that whenever I shoot, I don't have to help it at all, I don't have to see, and this confirms it. By having your eyes closed, it confirms that I'm not helping it into it by seeing the sight go up and come back down and I guide it in or I do any extra to get it to line back up after the shot. And I believe that's what Travis was trying to prove to himself and to make sure that he knows where his body mechanics are lined up. So I believe that's about all I got to say on it. I will say that, hey, we're coming out with some new holsters pretty soon. This is one of them. This is our outside the waistband pancake holster. We're going to put some cant into this one. This one's one of our prototypes, but we got a lot of good holsters coming out. We're starting with the CZ line because we're kind of CZ fanatics. This one's for Shadow 2. Got the CZP01 with the Streamlight TLR7. So got a lot of great holsters coming out. We focused a lot on fit and making sure that we get that proper retention, proper in and out, and got great style to them as well. So be lookout for those. If you're CZ fanatics like us, I believe you're going to really like these holsters. We put a lot of effort into making sure that they are as good as they can possibly be. So, all right, hope that helps.